Houston. The two pillars of this team, Chris Paul and Harden, are the 1 and the 2. Trevor Ariza out there with P.J. Tucker. And it's Capella in the pivot spot manning the middle. DeRozan, that's good.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Well, that opening right there, that's just because the defense failed to rotate.
From outside the arc, knocks down the 3 ball. Tucker's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And one reason why the Rockets were okay with letting Dwight Howard leave was because they knew that Clint Capella could fill that role. He quietly gives this team that finisher down on the block, and he has been absolutely, Chris, huge for the Rockets.
Oh, yeah, maybe the best in the league at finishing off lobs last year. Not the most spectacular, but the most consistent last year on that pick and roll because he's so active without the ball. Always moving, giving guards a target, great hands to catch and finish.
Now, here's Lowry. Stolen by Harden. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Harden.
Cheap turnover. You got to make sure your target's ready for the pass before you let it go.
Gerald Green, he's checked in for Houston. The Raptors have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Here's DeRozan. The shot's good on the assist by Lowry. DeRozan's got 5.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called.
Oh!
Nice.
I mean, come on, man. Harden is ridiculously clever, including how he decides to posterize you. A superb athlete.
Screened by Valanciunas. Here's Ibaka. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Harden gets the bucket.
Oh, and that catch and shoot, Jay, from Harden is unblockable. Just quickly shooting off the pass.
Knocked loose. On the wing, Green. Again, the Rockets score.
Well, no matter what, he's always going to be one of the most dangerous men on the court.
Toronto's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Lowry dishes to Valanciunas. And Serge Ibaka, the bucket on the assist from Valanciunas.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
The defense is doing just enough to bother him on the jump.
Anunoby. And Capella over to help. And the shot will not go from Anunoby. Paul, no one around him. And again, it's the Rockets from deep.
Oh, Harden is so good at finding the open man, an unselfish superstar who really whips the ball over quickly.
Paul outside. Puts up a 3. They grab their own miss. Capella with the bucket.
Oh, man, Capella absolutely destroys the opposition on the offensive glass, using that gigantic body of his to snag down second chance opportunity.
And Lowry gets double teamed. DeRozan. And the Raptors miss again. And the Raptors, unique in the NBA, they have a whole nation behind them.
And basketball continues to gain in popularity, especially with the younger generation in Canada. The Raptors are coming to relevance at the perfect time, and the rabid fan base energized by how competitive this group's been the last couple seasons.
And here's Houston. They're on a 14-6 run. Here's Harden. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
That's a very close call. I'm sure he thinks it's a clean block, but looks like it was on the way down.
C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Anunoby. Valanciunas with a screen on Paul. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. Here's Lowry. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
And that in-between range is a shot Lowry uses to keep defenders off balance. As good as he is with the three ball or attacking at the rim, he still has that mid-range to fall back on.
Now here's Paul. Kicks it out to Harden. Second shot opportunity. And the Rockets getting another bucket right there.
Well, it's nice to have an option like him every time down the court.
Outside Lowry. There's the three. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
There's a chance he could go for a big game if they don't D him up on the perimeter.
And it's Capella missing.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over it.
Here's Ibaka. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. Ibaka's got 8 points.
And the ability to generate points off offensive rebounds, something Ibaka did a lot earlier in his career before he started spending so much time on the perimeter.
59 seconds left in the first quarter. Lowry kicks to Valanciunas. No good on the shot. Good work defensively by Capella.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
Just barely too late and catches it on the way down. He's already in the air there, committed, so can't fault him for going for the block.
Ryan Anderson. He's checked in for P.J. Tucker. Harden can't hit.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on it.
Shot's good by Ibaka.
He has them reeling. They haven't had an answer for him this quarter.
Back to Paul. Pass to Anderson. There's the pick. Here's Harden. Banked in off the glass. He's got 11.
And they are going toe-to-toe here tonight, guys. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
Punch, counter punch. Neither club's been able to sustain an advantage.
James Harden getting it done. And off we go. A close game now starting the second quarter. And guys, for the Rockets, what jumps out to you from a numbers standpoint?
I mean, you saw it. That barrage of threes has them grooving here after one.
Well, there's not enough defensive pressure on the perimeter. We'll see in the second quarter if that gets corrected.
This is how the floor looks for the Rockets starting the second. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Anderson is down low with Capella. And it's Green in at the 3 spot. And Valanciunas out of Lithuania, the 5th overall pick back in 2011.
Yeah, he's still quite young. You know, a lot of talent offensively. Defensively, he's probably had less of an impact, but that's where he has to take the next step.
On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, it may not be the era of the center in the NBA, but Jonas Valanciunas has something to say about that. He said, "I try to make sure they don't forget about centers. I'll keep reminding them. The league is full of guys that can do different things, but I still think you need a center that can rebound the ball and score in the low post." I agree. Kevin?
Well, the centers are still important, David. Good to see Valanciunas making his presence felt in the paint. Here's Capella. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. That one on DeRozan. Well, we know that some players can get pretty tricky out on the court, and that is the diplomatic way of saying it, Chris. Which players do you feel kind of take advantage sometimes of the rules?
Well, and I think, you know, these are the guys that you would hate to play against, but you want to play with. And, you know, first people that come to mind are the Draymond Greens. the Matt Barnes, Steven Adams, just because he's physical. Even Chris Paul, the way that he stays on the refs, the way that if you reach on him while he's trying to steal the ball, he'll grab your wrist and let you know don't do that again because it really hurts what he's doing to you. So there's so many players that do that, and the wiser, the smarter, the longer in the game that you play, the more of those tricks you'll be able to pull out, all those veteran tricks. So those guys come to mind.
And Anderson kicks to Capella. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two. And Chris, many thought that after the Rockets let Dwight Howard go, they would have a slight rebuilding phase. Turns out they were just reloading and were a surprise contender last season.
Well, they did sneak up on some teams with how well they played early on. Front office did a great job retooling the team, great coaching job. But now with Paul in the mix, they're one of the scariest teams, at least on paper, in the league.
And it's Green with the jam.
Just finding the open man. Few who have ever played this game have Paul's vision.
And Lowry has it in the corner. Back to DeRozan. Screen by Valanciunas. And DeRozan. Here we go. Another shot. And the shot goes in from Siakam.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Nice. He showed his QB arm off right there, but he's really fortunate that long pass wasn't picked off.
Toronto calls timeout. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
And it's Capella missing.
More good work on the glass there. When it's all said and done, I think rebounding might tell the story in this game.
Talk about ugly. I mean, no pressure being put on him, and he sails the pass right out of bounds.
Rockets have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Harden kicks to Capella. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That's his first foul. DeRozan again, Harden. And there's Valanciunas on the assist from DeRozan. And it's 6 points for Valanciunas.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Kevin, this is what makes Anderson unique. His ability to bury shots from other zip codes. It's unreal.
Lowry has the open look. And another basket for Toronto. Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you could hope for.
There have been a lot of lead changes. My goodness.
Harden the pass to Capella. From the arc, it's Anderson again for 3. Anderson's got 9.
And the D has gotten a little bit laxed here defending the triple.
DeRozan's shot is off. Houston's gone 6 of 10 from three-point range, up over 50% for the ball game. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. Toronto calls timeout.
And really, DeMar DeRozan is a master at what he calls body hunting, that ability to just kind of draw fouls. I think he and James Harden actually are the guys that have really kind of set the tone for how to create those opportunities to get to the line.
Lowry kicks to Powell. Here's Siakam. It's rebounded by Houston. Paul outside. Back to Harden. Here's Capella. A second chance effort. It's not going to go for him. And Toronto will go the other way with it. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg? I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
And that's what makes Lowry a great floor leader. Just unselfish in his attitude and great awareness of how to keep his teammates involved.
And the dunk by Capella.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Oh, yeah, incredible teamwork there. A play you perfect only by practicing it until you're blue in the face.
And DeMar DeRozan, always, Greg, among the league leaders in free throw attempts.
And when you look at him, 6'7", 220 pounds with tremendous athleticism, he has got all the tools. Beyond, though, that attack mentality, he's a savvy basketball player. Those little shot fakes, his footwork helped this guy live at the line.
Lowry dishes to Valanciunas. Lowry passes to Miles. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Siakam misses. Paul with the 3. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time. And it's 6 points for Chris Paul.
And really, as the three-pointers keep dropping, you get the sense that the frustration is mounting for the defense.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Oh, man, yeah, he read it all the way. He got a jump on it. Very close.
.109 left to play here in the half. Screen by Capella. Paul kicks to Harden. It's stolen by Valanciunas. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And Harden with the stuff.
Oh, and Harden scores the ball in so many ways with his jumper, off the drive, dunks, floaters. I mean, from way downtown. Pick your poison.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench if he keeps shooting it like that. He has been putrid here this quarter.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Lowry kicks to Siakam. And he dunks it down.
Oh, nice there, getting the reverse. Love that. And the fans got a little bit of a show there.
Guys, that one definitely had a little something extra on it. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Harden kicks to Capella. Anderson the screen. Capella with a screen on Lowry. And it's Paul missing.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
And so it's the Houston Rockets. Ahead by 9 as the quarter comes to a close. They've done a lot of great work from long range. We come back right after this. And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Rockets leading by 9.
Oh, well, the Rockets have a pretty simple game plan. Put up a ton of threes and get as many deep threats on the floor as you can.
While we've got a moment, let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. So for Toronto right now, the talented Lowry and DeRozan pair in the backcourt. Then there's Jonas Valanciunas. Then there's C.J. Miles. And it's Siakam in at the 4. Capella with a screen on Lowry. Harden sets the pick for Paul. Off target from outside. And often we can exaggerate about how much a team hoists up the threes, but it isn't an exaggeration with the Rockets. They do it at a record pace.
Oh, yeah, at times last season, almost half of their shots were from 3. By far the most three-point attempts in the league. I mean, you look at their offensive numbers, and clearly it was the right approach for them.
It's a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Raptors coach Dwayne Casey talked about the chemistry on his team. He said, "We couldn't be better. There's no ego, no hidden agendas. Guys understand their roles." Kyle Lowry told me, "We're a complete team, 15 deep, and we really mean that. You never know whose time it's going to be." Kevin?
And DA depth is a crucial part of any team's success. Knowing you can rely on your teammates to step up is huge. Miles to the inside. Trying to find Valanciunas. Gets it to him. And there's the 3-second violation.
And hate to make a mistake there. Have to stay focused.
You're so right. Trying to shrink the deficit. Sometimes you push too hard to make something happen.
The Rockets shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here. And Chris, you've been working as an analyst now for quite some time. Do you feel that how you view and enjoy the game has changed as you've transitioned from being a player on the floor to the booth?
You know what? I've learned a lot, and I've learned to look at the game a different way, but I look at the game the same way. I think the onus is on the player to execute what the coach and the GM puts out there for you to do, for you not to become a one-dimensional player, for you to improve in the summertime. That's the only time you can improve. And when you don't come back and you don't improve, it's obvious that you have the same glaring weaknesses that you had the year before. Even if you're not on a team that can compete for a championship, you want to make sure that you compete for a championship, that you compete for an all-star, that you compete to have your name out there. And so a lot of times we'll watch some of those teams, and I love seeing that they compete or if they laid it down early in the season. So, no, I would say that really what gives me an advantage is that the way that I looked at the game, and hopefully, you know, that gives me a unique perspective when I'm out there trying to talk to other basketball heads like myself.
And it's Green with the jam.
You know, flying high and throwing it down with the one-hand.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. And Toronto making a change here. Anunoby's checked in. Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. Out left to the wing. And Capella sends it back. And it's Harden slamming it down.
The athleticism Harden possesses is scary. I mean, he's constantly driving toward the basket for these dunks.
It's tipped. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Harden. Norman Powell's checked in for Toronto. DeRozan passes to Ibaka. Looking to end the run. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And he's pretty relentless inside. Valanciunas gets after it down low. It might not always look pretty, but he makes the most of his chances in the paint.
Anunoby, he's checked in for the Raptors. The kick out to Anderson. Harden right side. 4 on the shot clock. Shoots over DeRozan. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. Harden's got 6 points in the quarter.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling down.
Ibaka, no luck. To the paint. Here's Green. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
I mean, I don't know whether to say it's amazing or it's sad, but you're down double digits and you still allow an uncontested layup. Where is the pride? Where is your heart? Well, he's picking his spots. Understanding the game so well helps them fuel this lead. And last season, Harden just put up some incredible numbers all across the board. His assists were league leading, which nobody saw coming. He didn't have a big drop in his own scoring, even as he was creating so much more for others.
And here's Anderson for 3. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Ibaka's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
Even that close to the bucket, that's a very tough finish in that kind of traffic.
And with Harden, as you said, Chris, nobody saw his assist totals coming except maybe his coach, Mike D'Antoni, one of the Coach of the Year candidates, certainly all season long with what he did in that 55-win Rockets season. When Harden heard what his coach expected, Chris, he laughed it off.
Yeah, and part of it was the system, but Harden he found his groove. I mean, you think about just the seasons he's had. He's just played incredible, and he's going to have to bring those turnover numbers down. Not used to playing with the ball and not used to being in that position that much. Expect the turnover numbers to come down this season.
Got that one up quick. Anderson's got 6 in the quarter.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Well, he's doing his best to get them back into this game. He's been money from the field.
Anderson the screen. Paul outside. The feed now to Capella. Green inside the three-point line. That's short off the rim.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
And he just glides to the hoop on his drives. DeRozan's got plenty of force to his game. Don't get me wrong, but he makes everything look so effortless.
And there's the pass to Harden. Nice feed from Valanciunas. Raptors trailed by 20. And DeRozan kicks to Valanciunas. The rebound by Anderson.
Not a very consistent quarter for him in terms of his shooting.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
Kept alive. Here's Valanciunas. And it's Valanciunas finishing it off.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
It can be discouraging, frustrating, but you only have yourselves to blame. Box out.
To the paint. Here's Harden. Good, and Paul gets the assist. 25 points for James Harden.
Oh, man, I really enjoy seeing Harden connect from the interior, showing he's more than just a perimeter scorer.
James Harden. And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Raptors trail by 19. Fourth quarter on the court for the Rockets. The two pillars of this team, Chris Paul and Harden, are the 1 and the 2. Nene is out there with Anderson. And it's Green in the small forward position. Lowry against Paul. Here's Harden. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
What's up?
Oh, Harden is so good at finishing these and ones. I mean, he is just a thorn in the D side.
Houston making a switch here. Ariza's checked in. Kicks to Miles. No one near him.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
Well, sometimes you get a little outside of yourself. You have to be a little more disciplined.
Harden. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Valanciunas has got rebound number 12 here already in the game. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
And hate to make a mistake there. Have to stay focused.
You're so right. Trying to shrink the deficit, sometimes you push too hard to make something happen.
The dish now to Anderson. Ariza passes to Anderson. And the foul called on Pascal Siakam. That is his first foul of the game. Harden inside the three-point line. Drops one in from the wing. Harden's got 5 points now this quarter.
He continues to be their go-to guy. If they close this game out, his stamp will be all over this win.
Here's Miles. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Lowry's got his 7th assist in the game. Rockets leading by 20. Here's Harden. Oh, went in there and tried to power it down, but drew contact. He'll head to the line.
And Harden is never scared of physical defenders. I mean, he embraces the opportunity to get these calls when he's shooting. Well, James Harden has always acted as the initiating guard in any offense he's been in, but last year he just took it to a new level. With Coach D'Antoni, Harden was running the offense. He ended up with double-digit assist numbers for the season. You can see that he definitely takes rebounding seriously, and his size really helps him come down with plenty of those tough boards.
Paul with the ball. Clock at 6. He kicks it to Ariza. And he converts the layup.
It's clear to me. Is it clear to you that Ariza feels at home in the post? I mean, just working his way inside and nailing these quality shots.
Yep, that one goes. The Rockets have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the 4th. Feeds it to Anderson. Left side Ariza. Kicks it out to Harden. And out of bounds as Toronto gains possession.
Cheap turnover. You got to make sure your target's ready for the pass before you let it go.
A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the 4th quarter. And here's Miles outside. Taken away by Nene. And Harden with the stuff.
Oh, and Harden is so quick to the cup, just exposing the weak defense with his speed.
Valanciunas with a screen on Paul. Powell with it, and it's Harden picking him up. Now here's Powell. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And not sure what he was thinking there. Anderson wide open. That 3 off the mark.
Look, they cannot leave him open like that. The D got away with one there.
Here's Powell. Fires from the wing. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. That free throw, no good. Well, we talk so much about what it's like on the floor, Chris, but I wonder what it was like off the floor when you were on the bench watching the team play and what was going through your head and mind. What did you and your teammates talk about as you were on the bench taking a rest and watching the game go on?
It depends on which game. You know, if you're in L.A. and you see, Eddie Murphy and Rihanna walk in, you're going to say, hey, look at Beyonce and Jay over there. Or, if you're watching a great play and you see a guy dunk on your teammate, you're not going to get too excited, but you're going to whisper to your teammate, man, did you see that? That's crazy. Or, you're pumping up guys because they've been working so hard in practice, and it's a guy who's getting his first time to kind of get in and get a good run. So you're cheering him on. And so being on the bench, it's a lot of fun. You have to stay focused and ready to re-enter the game. But part of that job on the bench is to keep the energy of the bench, and that's to keep guys encouraged, to be loose, to have fun. And so it's a lot of fun being on the bench. And more fun when you're winning than losing, but a lot of fun being on the bench encouraging guys.
Brandon Wright's checked in for the Rockets.
And that's Lowry's shot right there. Always looking to capitalize from that range.
In the corner, Harden. And it's off from three-point range. And the rejection by Harden. Foul for 3. Rebounded by Capella. And the foul called on Pascal Siakam. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
You know what? You've got to always be in control of your emotions.
Anunoby, he's checked in for C.J. Miles.
Well, Chris Paul signing the big contract this past offseason, and you knew he'd end up with one of the biggest deals out there, and his impact on a team goes far beyond just stats.
Well, Greg, Houston wanted Chris Paul, and they got their man. One of the bigger surprises, certainly, of the offseason.
Yeah, and without Paul on this roster, this team isn't in the conversation for winning. You need him to keep your window of winning open, and he is just that impactful and makes everyone on the floor better.
And you look at the Raptors, one of the top teams in the East, Greg, but do they have a chance to go all the way?
I think they're a threat to make the finals. Can they win it all? They may be a piece or two away, but still a young and aggressive core. They continue to try to add pieces, and this is a group that has proven they want to win and win now.
No good on the free throw.
And you think back to some of the highest-paced and up-tempo teams in the league. This Houston group is right up there with all of them. They look to push it on you the second they get a chance. And he wanted all of those, trying to fight their way back into this.
And not the guy you want to send to the line. He has been automatic.
And he makes the first. And with the pace the Rockets play with, Chris, it isn't just running as soon as they can. Part of the decision to have Harden as the point guard last season was to speed up their playmaking from the beginning.
Well, the Rockets have streamlined everything and cut down the total time to run their sets. That's why they get so many possessions in the game. They know the more chances they get with their offense, the better the results are for them.
And it's out of bounds. The Raptors will take it the other way.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Rockets.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for James Harden.
He was extremely efficient offensively, got good looks, and really knocked down big shots all game long.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Capella. Toronto's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Passes it to Valanciunas. It's stolen by Ariza. And Harden with the stuff.
Tremendous effort here on the road. That plane ride home is going to be sweet.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't care how good you are. It's tough to succeed in a hostile environment. They're doing it in style.
Three-pointer. The offensive rebound. Capella with the bucket.
And Capella is very efficient down deep, using his muscle to get off the shots he wants inside.
And the Raptors call time here. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, this has been rough all the way around. I mean, coming in with high hopes and then just now trying to finish the best they can.
All you can do at this point is focus. Dial in on each moment. Do your best. You can't get consumed over the score.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Anunoby misses the wing J. And that one drops for him. Harden's got 38 points.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Yeah, that offense shifted into high gear. I love the attack mindset.
Long range from the inbound. Siakam pulls it in. Charity stripe shot. Gets it to fall.
And you want to talk about high-volume scores. Just look at what DeRozan's doing tonight. He's been on a mission, putting his mark on this game in a big way.
So we see the Rockets taking the win here. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this